Hi guys, welcome back to Mama SOJ vlog. How you guys doing? If you are new here, you are welcome, and if you are a returning subscriber, God bless you. As you always come back to watch my video, my people no be smart, you know. And I know some different news now they land for my table, and as the news they come, that's why they carry and to come share with her. My people, for today's video, I'm going to watch and together with her. All right, my people, we could go watch the video to see what really the happen for inside the video. My people
will be either you invite the people because they said that they have been on their track, for long, and therefore they should either invite them and talk to them, that we are aware of what we are trying to do, and these are the implications. If you don't know, it's felony. I mean, it's treasonable, felony, and that means death. At the end of the day, if one is caught, that yes, this is what we are trying, because an attack on the country. So we are saying that democracy is very important to us as a country. And we, the politicians, like I've always said, we are the first casualties when democracy fails. And the people are the biggest losers, themselves. So this is why not only politicians, but even the citizens themselves should rise up against this, wherever they are, that we do not allow, this unnecessary interruption, to come into the process. So this is why our recommendation is that it must be nipped in the bud. You have time. We shouldn't waste time. And again, we are also appealing to DSS that next time something like this, is afoot, we would like them to approach IPAC. I remember that last year, I think towards the end of last year, we had the meeting. We requested for a meeting with DSS, and they granted us a meeting. We went to their office, we sat down, we spent almost close to 1 hour, interacting, exchanging ideas, and we said, whenever there's a need for you to, interact with us, please, feel free, don't hesitate. So we thought that if anything like this, and if politicians were the target or were the major suspect, like they said, people with entrenched interest, then we thought maybe even to say, okay, IPAC, come. I mean, the leadership. We have this also. Can you talk to your members before it gets out of hand?
And how would you describe those Nigerians or a group or so, who had gone to the Defense House to demonstrate and asking the military to come back? How does that offend the democratic sensibility of the populace?
Well, again, you see, it's unfortunate, but again, that's one thing about democracy. It allows you to do a number of things, which perhaps you get away with it because why? You have an inalienable right. But when it gets to a situation where, you are asking for the soul, of the country, because when you are asking an alternative, to come to take over the government, then that also is treason. Really, I mean, there's no other way to look at it, because openly you are saying that you are asking for a coup to take place, because how else would you want the military establishment to come into power, when they are not politicians that you say, okay, and even if they are politicians, elections are already taking place, so the only thing you can do, like we have advised, is to seek redress, and so those who did that, perhaps, they allow it to go because maybe they didn't want to overheat the polity. But even at that, they could be invited, the leaders, they must have leaders, or those that they can see there could be invited and talked to in a very civil way.
Yeah, but don't you think, just to go back to the point you made earlier, that
yes,
the DSS should have arrested the people allegedly behind this plot? But would that not have raised another set of problems in itself? Imagine if the DSS had actually come out and said, look, a number of people have been arrested, and it happens that these people are high profile persons. There could also be the challenge of accusing the DSS of
witch hunting,
witch hunting or trying to stifle opposition voices and all of that.
Yeah, but that's why I suggested
so
that
DSS finds itself, between the devil and the deep blue sea, doesn't it?
Not really, because they have other options. Like I said, they can track. They said they were quartered in some highbrow, areas. I mean, in some hotels, like Transcorp or something like that. I mean, you can trace how did they hire the hotel? It's not a cheap hotel that an ordinary person can afford. So you can know the sponsors, behind it, and they can be invited, quietly. You talk to them that this is not acceptable, desist from it. I mean,
would that even be enough?
After doing that,
yes.
then they should do what they are supposed to do.
Yes, but aren't a brand of politics in this part of the world and politicking too, a kind of course that hits the polity in itself, particularly when you look at the winners take all syndrome.
Yeah.
As IPAC,
not only the winner takes all syndrome, even the conduct of the elections itself. I mean, it's an invitation for some of the things that are happening. I mean, if you promise people that they are going to do so and so for you,
right.
and then on the day of the delivery, you didn't do it, then that's why people are now thinking outside the normal, process, which is the democracy itself. So that's why we are saying that.
Will that solve the problem?
No. I'm saying this for us to take note that whatever you do, it could result into some other actions that you may not want, really. So this is for future. What has happened, and there's no way that I will support anything outside democracy. There's no way. But the point I'm making is that the authorities in charge of the process, like INEC, should understand that there are consequences. If you fail to do what you are supposed to do, there are consequences. You are dealing with human beings.
Right. Let me even.
So, by no way, I'm not supporting what the people who are planning. The interim government or whatever it is. At all, I'm not supporting it. But I'm saying that we also, as a country or the government, has a role to play in making sure that the process, and then the system we are trying to grow, really take roots by follow the rule of law.
Right.
If you promise something, please deliver. If you don't deliver, people will start thinking,
strong institutions.
Exactly, strong institutions. Yeah, I need it.
Absolutely. And based on what you've just said, let me quote what the EU, Election Observer Mission said, that in spite of corrective measures introduced by INEC, the electoral umpire, by March 18, after the February 25 elections, that in spite of all of that, the electoral process lacked transparency.
Yep.
And they also raised the issue of the tendency for democratic backsliding. So in other words, the
handwriting is on the wall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like if you do not allow people to really enjoy their freedom, of choice, then
and the process of choosing
and the process of choosing, if you don't allow them, nature opposes a vacuum. You can't just say I've done this, so do whatever you want to do. So that's what I'm talking about. So if we don't want to have anything that is untowards, to the system, then let us also behave in a manner that will instill, confidence in the people, and people will now believe in complying, because Nigerians are very easy to govern, and like any other human being, if you promise me something and you're going to deliver it, you won't have any rancor, exactly, as a reaction. But what has happened is that it's a lesson that I think INEC should learn from this, and government also should learn from this, that you cannot do whatever you like and get away with it. People can react, and these are sort of reactions that we don't want. And perhaps
let's talk about very quickly before we let you go. This vested interest that DSS refers to.
Yes.
Is it in line with what respected journalist, senior colleague of ours, Dele Momodu, actually referred to as the owners of Nigeria? is it likely that there are people who may have captured the state and are not really ready to let go?
No, there's a state capture. There's no doubt about it. There's a state capture, and state capture is further, compounded by the nature of arrangement we have of government. What do I mean? I'm talking about power of incumbency, especially at the level of the president of the country, who appoints the INEC chairman, the national commissioners of INEC. He appoints the resident electoral commissioners. He appoints the IG. He appoints everybody, and including the judges that you are looking up to, for fair, free, credible election. And in a situation like Nigeria, he who pays the piper dictates the tune. So this is what is happening. That's why I always say that INEC people are also victims of the circumstance. The victims of the fact that the way they are appointed, the way they are funded, look at even the Electoral Act itself. It's a swindle. We have seen it now that it's a swindle against Nigerians.
I was just going to ask you, that will IPAC be coming up with some
certainly even today
proposals
even today
for the amendment of
exactly even today at our meeting we have a committee to now, with the experience that we have had now, how do we make this thing to be watertight to at least near perfection? If we can't get it completely perfect, but not what we have today. What we have today is a recipe for crisis, and that's what we're having today. Because you promise people one thing and you deliver a different thing entirely, or you don't deliver at all. And you come and say, no, the law allows me not to deliver if I choose not to. That we have two systems running. One is manual, another one is this. Nigeria didn't get that, at the point when the Electoral Act was passed. People were jubilating, thinking that, now it's Uhuru, that we are there, where we want to be. Not knowing that it's even worse than what you had before.
Well, thank you so very much. Sani Yabadi is an engineer and the chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council of Nigeria, IPAC.
My people, now the video now on a new watch finish, so on a see what it happen for inside the video. Alright, my people, I go like to end the video for you. Make una let me know waiting on a thing for the comment section, and if una never subscribe, make una subscribe to my YouTube channel so that una no go miss any latest gist way I dey upload. And those of una will be see una never follow my Facebook page, make una follow so that una no go still miss any latest gist way I dey upload. And bye bye till I come on our next time. Bye guys, see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.